A former drug user and dealer has been granted some lottery money to support the charity he runs. Mick Hartley from Sheffield runs Kickback Recovery, which supports drug users and their families. GBNews' reporter in Yorkshire, Kevin Larkin, joins us. Kevin, talk us through how that money is going to be used.
Yes, good morning, Nana. Yes, we're here in the changing rooms at Sheffield Wednesday, who've been very supportive of the charity. And this £2,500 is going to be used, lottery money is going to be used specifically to help those overcoming addiction deal with loneliness. So we've got some of the people who've been helped by Kickback Recovery to tell us a bit about their stories and how they'll be helped. Daryl, I guess just to begin with you, can you tell us a bit about your story and what happened with you and how Kickback's helped you?
Yeah, so my name's Daryl. I'm a recovering alcoholic. Just over 5 months without a drink. So briefly, I started drinking when I was 15. In my teens and 20s, it was just, you know, the norm as it is. Got into bits of trouble going through my 20s. Into my 30s, my drinking habits changed. It went from social drinking to isolating myself, sneaking it, going out of my van, doing it. 37-year-old, I went out all day drinking from morning till night one day, got home, broke down. That was really my rock bottom. My kids were looking at me, my wife, so it really hit home. And I'd been following Kickback on Facebook for around 18 months, and I decided to reach out to Kickback, and the best thing I ever did. I've not been 5 months dry from alcohol since I was 15, so yeah.
And was it that, did you realise that you had a problem before that sort of crunch moment, or was it just that crunch moment where you just went, I've just got to get this sorted now?
No, I knew I had a problem from probably around 30 years old onwards. My family noticed, I noticed myself, and when you're hiding it and you're alternating shops, so shopkeeper done, do you know what I mean? So I knew, and I did try putting things in place. I went to see my GP. It didn't work. They sent me to somewhere down Sheffield town to have like one-to-ones with people, and that didn't work. And then, like I said, I found Kickback.
And why did Kickback work when all those other things didn't?
Well, I'll tell you my personal experience from it. I reached out to Sally, and I got a one-to-one with Mick, and I had the one-to-one with Mick, and like I got a lot of respect for doctors, I truly have. But Mick's been there, I'd done it, and when he was speaking to me, I felt he knew where I was, and he convinced me to come back to a group therapy meeting that day. But I could feel it. He wanted me there. You know, it weren't just his job. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And he went from there.
Fantastic. And Vicki, tell us a bit about your experience, your story.
Oh, goodness me. So I started using substances, a wide variety of substances from about, about 11, 12. Didn't want to feel my feelings. I think that's pretty standard. So I had sort of 25 years in addiction, not necessarily realising that was what was happening or that's what the case was. I'm very lucky and I'm pleased to say that at this point I've got just over 14 months clean time. However, just prior to that I was using crack cocaine daily, heroin pretty much daily, to be perfectly honest. That's when I realised I was putting my dignity at the door and I was funding a very expensive habit the only way that I was able to, which wasn't particularly pleasant. And I think that was where I was like, do you know what? That's what brought me to my knees. That's what made me think. And I was engaged at the time, and like that was just a big. It was just a light bulb moment. And
I just want to bring Danny in here. Danny, tell us a bit about your story as well.
Yeah. So I was obviously not from Sheffield, but after. Yeah, a lot of years getting in trouble, sort of violence, stuff like that. I ended up coming to rehab in Sheffield and stayed clean for quite a few years. And sort of through my job and stuff got isolated off, and the pressure just built. I used to work as a counsellor, and it just built and built till I ended up falling off the wagon myself.
And how did Kickback help you?
Oh, Kickback was brilliant. I booked into rehab, and basically my marriage was falling apart. I was losing everything, and I thought, yeah, even though it was hard to leave my wife and kids, I booked into rehab, and sort of when I got out of rehab, I knew I needed that support. I tried other groups and stuff, but Kickback had been recommended, and yeah, it was the best move I ever made.
And Vicki, just very briefly on your experience, if there was one small thing that you would say Kickback has done for you, what would it be?
Got me through the lockdown. I don't know where I'd be or if I'd still be around if it hadn't have been for Kickback. I had to relocate due to essentially being homeless and agoraphobic. And literally the one thing that got me out of the house that I was sofa surfing on was getting to that one-to-one face-to-face meeting.
Fantastic. And that's brilliant. I wish we had more time to talk to you all. But I think you can really see here the impact that this £2,500 is going to have from the National Lottery and the support from Sheffield Wednesday as well. Fantastic. Lots of people coming together to help people like Daryl, Vicki and Danny. And back to you in London, Nana.
Kevin, thank you so much. It's been fantastic getting so many different voices from that centre over the course of the morning. Really appreciate your time, Kevin.